The average credit score for Canadian is between 650 to 725, depending on the year you choose. What is exactly your credit score? In this video, I'm going to explain what credit score is, how it is calculated, and what you need to do to boost your credit score. A credit score is a three-digit number that shows how well you can manage borrowing and paying back money. Anytime you apply for a loan with the big banks or any other financial institution, the lenders will ask you for this credit report. Now, a credit score ranges anywhere from 300 to 900 in Canada. A higher credit score means that you're more likely to pay back the bank's loan, and the opposite is true. When somebody has a lower credit score, it is less likely that the person will pay back the loan back to the bank. Now, why credit score is super important? The reason everybody looks at your credit report is it gives a lot of information to the lender. It is a report that summarizes all the line of credit, credit card, mortgages that you have with different lenders, and it shows how you paid back all those loans over the years. A credit report also has a lot of personal data, such as full name, social insurance number, all the previous addresses and employers that you had, and how many open credits or how many credit accounts you have opened, whether you have closed all of those, if there is any unpaid bills outstanding. All those informations are reported on your credit report. Now, anytime you apply for a loan, your loan officer will ask your permission to pull a report from the credit bureau. This is called a hard inquiry on your credit bureau. In Canada, there is basically two credit report companies, which are Equifax and TransUnion. These two companies collect, manage, summarize, and distribute all of these liability-related data to different lenders. Now, when you order your credit report from these two credit rating companies, they're often not exactly the same. The reason for that is two of these companies uses two different scoring technique, and that's why the numbers are slightly different. But most often, they will be pretty close. Now, when you apply directly from the credit rating company, these are called soft inquiry. These are report that you pulled not to apply for any loan application. It is generally to look at what's in your credit report. So unlike the hard inquiry, which lowers your credit score, these soft inquiry does not affect your credit score at all. In fact, in the last few years, all the big banks have partnered with these credit rating agencies where they have implemented these free credit report on clients' online banking or mobile banking. So you can get a copy of your credit report, which is for educational purpose, from either your online banking or your mobile banking. Now, some of the fintech companies such as Borrowell and Credit Karma also provides you these free reports, which does not impact your credit score. Unfortunately, you cannot use this free credit report to apply for any loan. When you are applying for a loan, the credit report has to be pulled by the lender because the report that the lenders pick are typically more up to date and are a different version from your free report. Let's talk about how the credit score is calculated. Now, before I explain you the formula, make sure to stay at the end of this video where I share an older couple story who did not sign a car loan with his adult son to protect their credit score. Now, the formula to calculate the credit score is very secretive. This is the secret sauce that these credit rating agencies have to protect their business model. They never shares how they actually calculate this score. However, Equifax has written numbers of articles where they explain the 5 factors that they use to calculate this score. The number one factor is your payment history. This is the most important factor for your credit score. So every month, your lending institution or banks sends statements to this credit rating agency which summarize how much was your bill, what frequency you paid, when did you pay, and what was your due date for this bill. Based on those information, the credit rating agency will look at the pattern of your payment history. If you are on time on all those payments, you will have a much better credit score compared to somebody who did not make those payments on time. Also, sometimes people misses payment because they can't pay back the full balance. For example, a lot of time students have hardship where they cannot pay off the full credit card payment. In those cases, my recommendation to make sure to pay back at least the minimum payment, which will protect your payment history. Because a minimum payment will still make sure that you have a good payment history. However, if you miss that same payment by a few days, that can make a big dent on your credit report. Now, the second most important factor is your credit utilization ratio. Basically, this ratio calculates how much balance do you have compared to how much credit limit you have. So let me give you an example. Let's say you have a credit card which has a $10,000 credit limit. Now, at the end of the month, you spend $2,000 on your credit card. That means your credit utilization ratio is $2,000 divided by $10,000, which is 20%. Now, if your credit utilization ratio is less than 35%, that is going to give you a boost on your credit report. If you have a high credit utilization ratio, meaning that if your balance to limit ratio is pretty high, that means you do not have breathing space. This gives an indication to the banks that you are cash crunched. This will lower your credit score over the period of time. So the recommendation that we have is if you have money to pay off the balance, make sure to pay off those balances before the cutoff date where your statement is sent to these credit report agencies. If you make sure that you pay back before the cutoff date, what happens is on your credit report date, on your credit report, the lender only shows you zero balance, which will essentially boost your credit utilization ratio. So the best strategy is to pay back all of your balance before the statement cutoff date, because when you pay off the balance before the cutoff date, the statement balance shows zero, which will help you to boost your credit history. Now, some people game the system by increasing the available credit, which automatically lowers your credit utilization ratio because you are dividing the balance with a higher credit limit. Now, I would cautious you on doing that kind of tricky stuff because you have to be comfortable with your appropriate limit. Somebody who is making $500,000 income might be okay with a $50,000 credit card limit, but that $50,000 credit card limit might be way too much for somebody who is making, let's say, $70,000 income. So make sure the available credit you are applying makes sense based on your financial situation. But in general, the lower credit utilization rate you have, the better your credit score will be. Now, the third most important factor is the length of your credit history. Now, your credit report will collect all the history that you had since you applied for your first credit card or first loan. That means if you have a history of good credit behavior, that will give you a boost on your credit report. So the longer credit history you have, which are good, the better it is for your credit score. So the advice that we have, if you have a credit card or line of credit which has excellent history, please do not close that down. Keep that open, but don't use it, because that way you are still carrying your old history, which has a positive report. The fourth factor is the public record. Past financial trouble like bankruptcy, consumer proposal, or collection item is a big negative impact on your credit report, even if you claimed those years ago. I remember when I was a banker, I could not approve for a $2,000 overdraft for somebody who was making $100,000 just because that person has a phone bill unpaid and it went to the collection item. So the bank required him to pay off the full $500 unpaid bills before they can approve any new loan. If somebody has a bankruptcy or consumer proposal and has not discharged fully yet, there is a 99% chance that that person will not be approved for a new loan application. So the best advice I can give you is make sure that there is no unpaid bills, because those small unpaid collection item can put a big dent on your credit score and will not allow you to qualify for even for a small amount of loan. The fifth factor is recent inquiries. So whenever you are applying for a new loan application, such as mortgage, line of credit, or credit card, the banks will pull your credit report. As I said before, these are called hard inquiry. At any time you do one of these loan application, these hard inquiries will lower your credit score by a few points. Now, if you are doing 2 or 3 times a year, that may not put your credit score in risk. But if there is a lot of credit report pull, such as 5, 6 in a year, that will lower your credit score pretty fast. I remember when I was a banker, I saw a few newcomers who did not have any understanding of credit report in Canada. They were shopping around for car loan application. Now, car dealers are not very good at explaining the impact of these hard inquiries. The newcomer person that I was dealing made 10 to 12 car loan application within 6 months of time, and that destroyed his credit score to below 500. It took a long time for him to gain those credit score back. Unless you really have to apply for a loan, don't apply for loan just for the sake of getting loan. Now, obviously, when you are shopping around for a new mortgage or car loan, you may have to do 2 or 3, and those number of inquiries are perfectly fine, as it may not impact your score that much. This is the reason why I recommend you choose working with a mortgage broker when you are shopping around for mortgage rate, because mortgage brokers typically have access to multiple lenders, and one credit report will be enough for them to shop around across different lenders. However, if you are dealing with just one bank, then every time you'll check the interest rate with different banks, they will have to do another credit report check, which may lower your credit score. So the bottom line is, the more credit application you do, the lower your points gets. Now, at the beginning of the video, I told you that I'm going to share an older couple story who did not co-sign for his adult son's car loan. Here was the situation. The older couple was living on their investment and pension, and they did not have any other loan. They also have a mortgage-free home and a home equity line of credit, or HELOC plan. Basically, a HELOC plan is a secured line of credit attached to your house where you can borrow against your house equity. Normally, the HELOC rates are much lower interest rate compared to other types of loans. Now, the couple came to us for some advice and try to understand whether they should co-sign for their adult son's car loan. Now, they explained that their adult son is not very financially responsible. Their son made many mistakes in the past, and he had a very poor credit report, and that's why the car loan company wanted somebody to co-sign the loan for him. Obviously, the adult son went to the parents to co-sign for the loan. Now, the parents were not very sure how that may impact their own credit report. The older couple also thought about gifting some money so that the son can buy the car outright by cash. However, they were a little bit hesitant to gift away all this money as gift, because that wouldn't help the sons to learn his lesson. So here is what we recommended. Because the son is not financially responsible, there is a high likelihood that he may not pay off the car loan on time. If the parents have co-signed the car loan with the son, his inability to pay off the loan on time may impact the parents' credit score. So we didn't want that part, and that's why we wanted to have them separate from the car loan. Now, the car loan company would not lend to this son on his own merit. So we restructured the whole idea and took a loan from their HELOC plan. So we paid the car with cash, and then the son was paying that HELOC loan back to the parents. This way, the parents are in the controlling position, and if the son cannot make a payment for a month, the parents can still pay off their HELOC loan and protect their credit score. So the way we structured the loan is the son was paying every month to the parents, and the parents were paying off the HELOC balance. After 5 years, the HELOC balance will be fully paid off by the payments from that son. This way, we did not jeopardize the credit score for the parents. Now, so far, we have spoken about the car loan, but the process is pretty much same for a mortgage application. If you want to know how a mortgage application is approved by banks, please check out this video, which explain you the 5 factors that the bank looks at whenever they're approving your mortgage application. See you in the next video.